So welcome back to our live show at Origins 2023. I am normally your keeper or handler, Michael Diamond, but because we're going to have some fun with the Cthulhu Dark system, we're going to pass it. I'm going to pass the torch here to Storyteller Rina and let them lead us through literally something that has very little planning, but will be very fun.
Yeah, we're going to see how this goes. Okay, so I am your keeper for tonight, Keeper Rina. We are playing Cthulhu Dark by Graham Walmsley, which is a rules-light Cthulhu system. The things I'm going to tell you just at the start in case you haven't played Cthulhu Dark, the number one rule of this game is you are squishy. Very, very squishy. So, if you try to fight the mythos in this game because you are an ordinary person with an ordinary job, you have no special skills to fight the mythos or anything, you die immediately. I kill you and I describe it in very, very terrible terms. And then you're gone forever. Well, you and your PC probably. So just the number one rule to keep in mind is not to fight the mythos. The other thing you really need to know for this game, anything else that comes up will be on the fly. But you have a special D6. This is a 3D6 game. That is your insight die. Insight is the Cthulhu Dark version of insanity or sanity. Everyone starts at 1. Keep track of your insight. You are all starting at 1. Whenever you see something horrible, out of the ordinary, etc., I will ask you to roll insight. If you roll above your current insight, you go up by 1. Once you hit 6, you become an NPC. I control you. I kill you. I do horrible, horrible things to the other PCs through you, etc. You don't want to hit 6. So keep track of your insight and we'll see what happens. All right. If you roll a 6 on your regular die when I call you to run, your insight goes up. You will probably die very quickly in this game. All right. So anyone have any quick questions before we start? Sarcastic remarks, etc. Okay. So we are starting with a family road trip. It is summer. We have our family stopping off at a gas station in the middle of nowhere. And I do mean the middle of nowhere. It is a gas station with a tiny museum attached to it, designed to draw in the tourists while they're getting their oil changed, etc. Audience, what is the museum? What is the weird, odd thing that the museum is dedicated to in this middle of nowhere gas station? Hubcaps. Hubcaps? Okay. We've got our hubcaps and taxidermy, because there was always going to be taxidermy. So hubcaps and taxidermy. All right, we've got our family. You have stopped at this gas station. Turns out you also need an oil change, according to the very creepy gas station attendant. Surprise, surprise. So let's introduce our family very quickly. Tell us who you are and what your profession is. So our father for this game is not Michael Diamond. It is actually John.
Hello, I'm John. I'll be playing Joe, the father of this family. And my job is line mechanic.
Okay.
Which I don't know anything about cars, so this guy's probably right about the oil change.
But also works with the hubcaps, right? So you're going to learn something on the fly here.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
I know nothing about hubcaps either. It's going to be great. All right, so next we have our mother.
So I'm Heather, and I am playing Susan. I am Mom. I am also a salesperson. So if you're looking for leggings or little modded skirts or anything like that, please let me know, because I'd be glad to be able to show you our newest line of patterns.
And next we have...
Hi, my name's Dylan, and I don't fucking want to be here to...
Amen, Dylan. Amen.
What do you do, Dylan?
I'm a college student. So basically what that means is I spend most of my days ripping off my parents and not going to class and, bong hits with my friends, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. And next to Dylan.
I'm Morgan. I am playing Ashley with 3 E's. You can place those wherever you want. I am 17 years old, and I am a senior in high school, and my parents are fucking horrible. And I can't wait to move out of the house and maybe go to college. Maybe.
And last, but certainly not least.
Hi, I'll be playing Joe's brother Ted, who lives above the garage, who owns a failing bookstore down several blocks down. He's the uncle who, is like, oh, your parents ain't home. It's cool to have a beer. Fireworks? I bought you some here.
Awesome, uncle.
So this is our family as they enter into our gas station / taxidermy and hubcap museum. This is going to be a very great museum. You are all very, maybe not so much excited about it, but at least you have something to do to get you out of the Arizona heat. It is July, it is boiling, and you'd rather be anywhere but here or outside, so here is probably better. I'm going to ask each PC a very quick question about their relationship to someone else in the family, just to get an idea of family dynamics. So, Joe,
Yo.
Who's your favorite child and why?
Ooh. It's Ashley because she gives me less shit than my piece of shit son does. That's the whole reason. It's not that I love her for herself. It's because she's better than her brother.
Okay. Susan.
I think I have my hopes pinned for Ashley because I hope to groom her and show her the ways of womanhood as we go forth. And really, at this point, I've just given up on Dylan because seriously, Dylan's a freaking lost cause. You know what? He can just. I've caught him stealing my edibles more times than I can count, and the money out of my wallet, and that hard-earned cash that I did taking that one stupid show. Screw him.
Denver didn't go super well for Susan. Susan's whole personality is essentially gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss is what we have learned. Okay,
I work hard. They work hard.
So-
they don't want to
We're not
work
good
hard. They're
people.
not going to get it.
Dylan, why do you love your Uncle Ted?
Oh, because he's not like the fascist fucking parents I have. I mean, listen, I remember my first beer at 13, and it came from my uncle, and that was what was important. And he taught me basically the simple rules of the road, which are steal from the rich, you utilize their resources to your own advantage, and wait until this dystopian late-stage capitalism finally fucking cocks out.
Wonderful. Ashley,
Well,
what does your brother do that really fucking irritates you?
breathe. He breathes. But, I am the golden child, apparently. But what my mom doesn't know is that I'm the one that stole her apples.
Fantastic.
Not Dylan.
Okay.
You, Dylan.
Ted, which of your niece and nephew is your favorite and why?
Actually, right now it's Dylan because Ashley owes me $75 for more fucking edibles.
We can't have that. Okay. Damn it. So this family is walking in to the little museum out behind the gas station. The creepy caretaker, whose name is Len, has given everyone a little ticket, a little free badge to go in because, well, it's such a shame that your oil has to be changed out in the middle of nowhere in this heat. And you just go on in. We got that air conditioning back there. You're going to really love that. It's newfangled. And sends you all back into this museum. Maybe you weren't expecting it to be hubcaps and taxidermy, but the very first thing that you come into is it looks like these hubcaps have been taken from cars that have broken down or have been found on the side of the road. And so they're all turned into different pieces of art. Air quotes, art. And the very first one that you see is these 3 hubcaps that have been melded together in a sort of Celtic knot-esque symbol, and standing in front of it is a taxidermied squirrel holding a sword up in the air and a little shield made out of a really tiny piece of hubcap, and it is titled Excelsior.
Hey, look, kids, I think this one actually should be called The Power of My Nuts.
Oh, I want that for my room.
Ted waits until Joe and Mom walk by to say that just loud enough for them to hear.
What a waste. I mean, if people had spent that good time actually putting that energy into actually making something themselves, they wouldn't be out here in the middle of nowhere.
Oh my God, Mom, shut up. We don't have time for
Ashley?
this. No.
Ashley, don't talk to your mother like that.
So as you're all looking at
Ashley,
this,
that's not becoming of a lady.
as you're all looking at this piece of art, I'd like you all to give me a roll on your human die. Your human die is your first D6, and it is something normal people can do. So tell me what you get. 6 is bad.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it
Hey, Rina,
is.
guess what I rolled?
That's what I
Does seem
rolled.
So.
Okay, Joe's got a 6. Anyone else got a 6? Okay, so Ashley, you're probably slightly high, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else get above a 3?
Yeah, 4.
Okay, so what you see, Dylan, and this is a little weird, but nothing too out of the ordinary, is it looks like someone has actually taken two different squirrels and put them together into this bit of taxidermy. One half is one squirrel, the other half is the other squirrel, and the eyes don't quite line up right, so one is slightly lower than the other one, and it's just really weird. So the two of you who got 6s, Joe,
Yep.
the left eye is looking at you. And just the left eye. It is watching you, and it is hungry.
It reminds me of my wife and how she sleeps with one eye open.
It's a little creepy.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
And you have nightmares about it.
Yep.
And now this squirrel.
And the squirrel is an embodiment of all that in a conscious mind.
And yes, it seems to be alive, and it is staring just out of the left eye. Ashley, the right eye is staring at you. Who does it remind you of?
Uncle Ted when he's high.
So Uncle Ted is standing right there, and you feel him on one side, and you feel like he's also watching you out of this squirrel's right eye. And it is the creepiest fucking thing in your life. Oh. So both of you need to roll your insight die. Tell me what you get.
A 5.
Which
is higher than my 1.
Both of you go up to 2 insight, and both of you have a quick reaction of fear, horror, whatever. What is your quick reaction?
Oh my God, Uncle Ted, I have to stop eating your edibles, or you need to stop eating your edibles because you look just like that squirrel.
I can see it, actually.
Joe, what is your quick reaction?
Joe takes out like a little handkerchief that he's got and he just kind of drapes it over the squirrel. He's like, ugh.
Mm-hmm. So you drape it over the squirrel, and Ted, the squirrel starts moving as soon as the cloth touches its head.
Okay.
It's moving towards you, Ted.
Ted is backing the hell away from the squirrel, the multi-squirrel. And if it continues to get close, he's going to yank the handkerchief back off of the top of it.
Yeah, it just looks like it's moving, and then you all start to hear this screeching of metal as it appears to be dragging these hubcaps with it, these melded hubcaps. So you just see it coming out of the wall, but it appears to be focused on Ted, so that's probably okay.
This isn't a problem. This is actually probably the best.
I'm going to assume the rest of you guys see this.
Oh, yeah.
As Ted is back. Okay, good, because I'm not that high.
I don't know. I think I'm paying attention to like booking that next party on my phone, like through email.
Hey, you want to help me with the demon squirrel here, Susan?
What demon squirrel? What are you talking?
See, the real horror for you, Susan, is that you only have half a bar in here.
Okay.
You can't load any pictures or anything. It is horrifying.
Okay, I'm going to step on it.
You're going to step on the squirrel.
I'm going to fucking step on this squirrel. I'm sorry.
You're going to step on the squirrel.
Multi-squirrel that can't be.
Do I need to remind you of rule number 1?
Yeah, but multi-squirrel. I need to remind you of the multi-squirrel.
Okay. The name of this scenario is now The Terrifying Adventure of the Multi-Squirrel. So you go to step on this squirrel. You're slightly high.
Oh, yeah.
Like you are high, and you're not sure if this thing is real. And you stepped on the fire ants the last time they were coming at you, and it turned out they weren't real. So maybe that'll be the same thing here.
Probably.
So you go to step on the squirrel, and you forgot it has a sword. And the sword goes all the way up through your shoe and into your foot, and you start screaming. And as you start screaming, you hear all of the chittering and the movement from things all around this taxidermy museum, and all of the metal starts to slide around, and you trip backwards and you impale yourself on the tusks of a wild javelina.
Ted, can you please be quiet? I'm really trying to. Thank you. Thank you.
There is a sudden splat as Ted falls backwards onto the tusks of this javelina, which is a desert wild boar, essentially in Arizona, that has been taxidermied, but does not appear to be as dead as you would hope. It is also, unsettlingly, one half of one javelina, one half of another javelina, and the back left leg is out a lot further than the front one. This is upsetting. But the most upsetting thing is the fact that Ted's organs are now pooling on the floor. So I would like an insight roll from the 4 of you who are alive.
Uncle Ted!
Holy shit.
Is that...
This shit's really good.
I'm still at 2.
Dylan,
So
delete my Search history.
No way. We're going to post that shit on Facebook.
Oh, you think this is going to scar you?
So yeah, my insight goes up by 1.
Okay.
Mine didn't go up.
All right. So you're fine with this because now you don't have to pay him back for the edibles that you ate.
Score. But
Yep.
he has extra hidden under his bed at home. They're mine.
He's probably got some in his pockets too.
No, I'm going to search him.
All right. How'd you do, Susan?
I got a 1.
Okay. Susan is also okay with this mostly because she's still half focused on trying to find service in here so she can finish that email.
That, and I realized that with Ted dead, I can actually reclaim that space above the garage and I can turn it into my workshop. Fantastic. I think I'll paint the walls beige.
Of course, beige. How did you do, Joe?
I rolled a 6, and it's because I'm just thinking, even though she's dead, my mother is going to kill me for letting little Teddy get fucking hurt again.
Well, for the last time, too.
Yeah, fortunately, he won't do it again,
Joe.
stupid prick.
So, there's something that I like to do in Cthulhu Dark, which is when you roll a 6 on your insight, you get something extra horrible, and that means you have the potential to go up again. So, Joe, you've gone up to 3 but you rolled a 6 here. So the thing is, as you turn, you look at your brother, and he's just got blood and guts everywhere. You see his intestines are kind of poking through the wounds in his gut. And you're thinking about how your dead mother is rolling over at her grave to get out of her grave to wag her finger at you and tell you what a horrible older brother you are to your baby brother.
Mm-hmm.
You look and you realize as the javelina is still moving with Ted impaled on its tusks, Ted's eyes are starting to turn towards you.
God, he's one of them now. What are you going to do? Find another deadbeat brother to fucking stitch together?
How many do you have?
I just had the 1.
Dead, not emotionless. Ouch.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ted. Are your feelings hurt at this point? Because, I'm getting blood all over my brand new monoblanus.
You know what? Bite me, Susan. You just replaced me with a pottery wheel.
So the thing is, Joe, that as you realize your dead brother is looking at you, the javelina starts to split, with the one side going one way, the one javelina, and the other javelina going the other way, and it starts splitting Ted down the middle. And you can see another person attaching half of itself to one half of Ted, and it looks like another person is manifesting their other half to the other half of Ted.
I'm going to be manifesting myself out the fucking room.
Amen.
And so, Joe, all 4 of these eyes are looking at you, and they're
Jesus
slightly
Christ, he's
lopsided.
reproducing asexually.
Which is the only way he was
I
going to
rolled another
reproduce anyway.
6. The horror of this cannot be matched.
So, lucky for you, I don't double dip on this. I really should, but
Absolutely
No, you
should.
should.
Yeah, you absolutely
it's,
should.
it's an improv one shot. I'm going to do it anyway. All right. So,
Join
You're-
Night of the Living Teds.
your insight has gone up to 4. You have rolled another 6. So as this split and this shifting is happening, and you see the javelina is also starting to reform, but with different bits of javelina, you see one of these half Teds pulling itself up off the tusk and start stumbling towards you. And as it does, you all hear this. Your dead mother's voice starts coming out of Ted's voice box, saying, "You were never my favorite son anyway. Look what you did. Again."
I didn't kill him once.
You almost did. It's your fault I'm in the ground 6 feet under.
Mother, you died at the age of 104.
Nana!
I would have made it to 105 too if it weren't for you. And it's going to stumble towards you with one half being Ted and the other half being some
This is
random
literally
stranger.
the worst possible thing Joe, can imagine.
Yes.
You were a
So-
terrible brother.
You are such an embarrassment of a son. Your father, if your father were alive today, oh, I'm not alive either. But if your father were alive today, and so you're going to make that.
Well, this one's only a 3.
Okay. So your insight stays at 4.
Yep.
However, you are getting dangerously close. Pay attention to things. All right. So we have a dead Ted. We have a freaking out Joe over here who is getting dangerously close to becoming an NPC or dying horribly. So what are the rest of you doing as you see suddenly what you see is just this animated javelina moving towards Joe with dead Ted on its tusks. And you hear the voice of, well, for you, your grandmother, and for you, your mother-in-law, who has been dead for quite some time.
Gratefully.
Oh, man.
Yes. But you don't see the split happen.
Yeah, again, either deeper into the museum or somewhere out of this space.
So you go back towards the door. The door does not open, surprisingly.
Shockingly.
Nobody could have seen this coming.
This is convenient.
Yes.
All right.
Convenience store.
We've only got an hour, Mike. Of course it's convenient.
I'm aware. Okay. Well, I suppose what other objects, what other areas of safety are there in this strange hubcap and taxidermy museum?
So you see that in this main room, it appears to be all the newest things that have been set up, as far as you can tell from the little labels about...
Including Grandma.
Yes, including grandmother and dead Ted, who is slowly starting to look more and more like a taxidermied animal himself. As you'll see that there is what looks like another hallway down off to one side. There is a second shorter hallway with a door marked staff on the other end of it. And then there is just a whole fucking lot of taxidermied animals, vultures, snakes, etc., all with very weird hubcap shaped materials attached to them.
Yeah.
They're starting to make an awful lot of noise.
I think I'm going to go for the staff door.
Okay, so Dylan's running for the staff door. Susan?
After trying to cover my ears from hearing my gravelly old mother-in-law's voice, which I was so grateful when she died and finally left us that inheritance. I think I'm Ashley, dear. I think it's time we need to go. Where's your brother? Where's your
I don't
Dylan?
know. I'm not his keeper. Hey, is there anything around here for me to pick up and swing at shit?
Yeah, so there is definitely all of these little pieces of plastic that the taxidermied animals were behind until they all started moving. So, like, not quite windows, but they're just high enough to keep people from supposedly reaching in and touching the animals, at least children anyway. So you could pick those up, pull them out of the slot, and try to hit something with it. You've also probably got a bag or something with you.
There's no, like, bats laying around with, like, barbed wire around them?
No.
It's a gas station.
No.
Okay.
No, you're not in the gas station. You're in the
shit.
museum.
I'm in a museum. It's like,
Yeah.
a museum.
Maybe if you go further in, you'll find a bat with
No.
barbed wire around it.
Will I?
So
Okay. I'm like, Mom, you go look for Dylan. I'm trying to find a way out of here.
God knows where your brother is. Joe, where's the car? Can we get out of here? Can we please leave now?
Joe has fled further into the museum, away from both his
Joe?
wife and from his
Joe?
dead mother-brother.
Oh, Jesus, Joe, now's not the time. Joe, where are you? Ashley, God damn, this family did one bark.
So, Susan, as you're yelling at your deadbeat husband, you hear a rattling sound, and you look down and you see a taxidermied rattlesnake slithering around. It's actually on a little skateboard that is made out of a hubcap, and it's just its tail is propelling the skateboard along. It would be cute if it wasn't fucking terrifying.
I think I'll try to. What? Skateboard? Okay. As I try to wrap my head around it, does it come near my feet?
Yes.
As I back up. Okay.
You don't want to wrap your head around it. That would be dangerous.
No, I don't want to wrap my head around it. I want to stomp it with the heel of my Manalo Blonix and just like, I want out of here. This is not the day I fancied vacation. I could have gone to Barbados. I should have gone to Barbados with my girlfriend.
You want to fight the snake?
Well, I wanted to keep away from me.
Okay, so maybe just push it away, because otherwise I might kill you.
Yes,
Actually,
because I don't
will
want to
kill you.
destroy my shoes. These are Manolo Blonix. Do you know how much these cost? How many leggings I had to sell?
So many leggings.
So many leggings.
So you try to push the snake away, and it goes rolling backwards and crashes into a taxidermied fox, who then nudges it, and the skateboard goes rolling forward again. And you could swear you heard the snake laughing. But that's probably just a trick of the imagination, right? Joe, you've run further into the museum. Dylan, you went to the door marked staff.
Right.
So the door is mysteriously unlocked.
Oh, good.
So you open the door, and there is what looks like a very old computer, and by old I mean like 1995. So there's a young woman sitting at the desk of this computer. She's got her feet propped up on the desk. She's wearing a Hawaiian shirt, cargo shorts, which is about the uniform for Arizona at this point in time. And there's bags of open chips and energy drinks and everything scattered everywhere. And she looks up at you as you come in. Oh, God, not again.
Again?
She pushes the chair back, slumps her shoulders, goes over to a corner and picks up a shotgun, racks it up, and says, "Which one is it this time?"
Oh, to be honest, it's both my mom and my dad.
Did they get torn up by the javelina?
Maybe.
God damn that fucking squirrel. I told him he shouldn't be bringing the squirrel in. There was just something weird about that squirrel when we found it. Even a vulture wouldn't go near it. Rack up the shotgun. All right, out we go.
Sure.
And she just stomps out looking very, very annoyed at having her routine and her Doritos interrupted by you.
No, I absolutely will follow right behind her dutifully.
Okay. You follow behind her and she comes out. So the two of you who are left in here, so Ashley and Susan, you see this woman in maybe her early 20s in her cargo shirts and her Hawaiian shirt. She's got Cheeto dust on her fingers, and she looks like she hates being here, but she's got a shotgun. But she doesn't seem too shocked by everything that's going on around you. She just stops and she looks down and she says, "Fred." And the fox stops and looks up at her and slinks back into a shadow. Dustin, and the snake that was bolting its way towards you starts with its tail trying to get the skateboard to move backwards as if it's scared of her. All right. Where's Excelsior? The squirrel.
Oh, it got stepped on.
She goes over and she looks at you and says, "Oh, nice shoes." And then she kind of pushes at the napkin where it got stomped on by Ted, and the squirrel pops up like an accordion almost. And it's just there, holding the sword that is covered in blood. And then there's a creak as the hubcap moves. "Listen, Excelsior. Get back in the bin." And she points to a box that is next to where the squirrel was set up in its little area, like this museum exhibit. And you swear the squirrel is staring at her with one eye and at you with the other one, Dylan.
That ain't right.
It ain't right now.
That's not right.
And the squirrel lets out a piercing shriek. And all of the other taxidermied animals start moving forward again. Even Fred and Dustin.
Not Fred and Dustin. Thought they were on our side now.
Apparently not.
You can't trust
And-
a fox and a snake.
A snake on a skateboard.
That's made of a hubcap.
Yep.
Who can you trust?
So you've gone running down this other hallway, Joe, while all this is going on. You don't know about any of this.
Oh, no idea.
Nope. And the hallway that you go into appears to be weirdly taxidermied sea life
With
Which-
hubcaps?
Hmm?
With hubcaps again?
with hubcaps.
That's
It's like
cool.
they've been set up to be little fish and things
Mhm.
around like a taxidermied shark. There's a taxidermied couple of eels
Mhm.
and an orca. You don't know how it fits in here.
How did they get an orca and a shark in Arizona? This is my main thought.
hmm The shark is a hammerhead, and as you have this thought, it turns the head and looks at you.
Wait, does it turn the head like away?
Yep. So that
So
the eyes
the
can
eye
look at
can,
you.
on the eye, okay.
Yep.
I was like, does it turn the head towards me? And then the eyes kind of like cross-eyed look at me.
Nope. You see it turn its head
Yep.
to the side, and the eye is looking at you. And all of these little hubcap fish swimming around it all turn to look at you.
Oh, hell. I knew I should have stayed at the bottle cap factory.
Yes, you should have. Hubcaps, bottle caps, not the same thing.
No,
So you're going to take an insight roll for me there.
I would love to.
If you roll a 6 again, I swear to God.
No, I just rolled a 5.
Okay, so you now are up to 5.
I sure
So
am.
an important mechanic in Cthulhu Dark is when you hit 5 insight, you can actually try to reduce your insight to 4 so that you don't hit 6 on your next roll by destroying evidence, trying to get rid of something that you think is breaking your brain. So, how are you going to, or are you going to, in this particular situation? What are you going to try to do to save your mind? It's not possible, but you can try.
I can delay the inevitable. Is there a fire extinguisher in the room? Is this building up to code?
Well, there is a fire extinguisher. It's very old and looks kind of dusty, but there is one.
That's not promising.
No, but it's there.
All right, I'm going to grab the fire extinguisher and this is the real desperate play.
Hail Mary, do it. Do it.
I'm going to try and see if I can knock the goddamn hubcap fish off whatever strings that are keeping them in the air
Okay.
so that they at least roll into a corner.
Mm-hmm. So you go and you start swinging this fire extinguisher at these strings, and you realize as you hit the strings, your fire extinguisher is passing through water. But the fish fall,
Oh, that's great.
and then so does the water as it starts flooding towards you. But you can try to reduce your insight now, so make an insight roll for me. Just don't roll a 6.
I rolled another 5, which means it doesn't increase.
It doesn't go down because you rolled equal to. So you tried,
I
but
did my
now there's
best.
water flooding at you, and this shark is slowly starting to swing its tail. So, this is not going to go well for you. Meanwhile, you hear a shotgun go off, as in the other room, this young woman, whose name you still don't know, has taken a shot at Excelsior. It is very loud. Your ears hurt. It is not great in this small space, and there's now a hole in the floor as Excelsior just sort of dodges out of the way. He is a very agile taxidermied squirrel with a hubcap. And the young woman looks up and sighs and goes, Jesus fucking Christ, this fucking squirrel. I fucking told Len not to bring the... Ah! Okay, well, the only way to get out of here is to destroy the squirrel, I think. Or put him in the box. I tried putting him in the box and he didn't come out for a while. He shouldn't have been here when you were here. He should have been in the box.
Yeah, my eyes are completely bloodshot staring at this young woman, Cheeto fingers and, smoking shotgun as she's trying to explain to me that there's an undead squirrel that's causing us all of these problems.
I think you found a good girlfriend, Dylan.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
hoping
she'd
she
have to
puts
light
like shotgun in your
perfect.
mouth.
Oh my god! Hey, can we? If we light it on fire, will it go away?
In a manner of speaking.
Oh,
Can we just light
so
this-
would
the whole
everything.
thing on fire?
well, it's us or them.
It could be both if we light things on fire, but I mean that's a possibility.
Well, where's the box?
It's over. It's a. Oh. She points at a corner, and you see in the dusty floor there is an outline of what should be a box, and it looks like there's in the dust. It looks like there's some kind of odd symbols in the dust around the box.
Sweet. Let's light this shit on fire then. No box.
It's like I'm gonna go looking for the box. This gig only pays $7.25 an hour, man, but it's all I got out here.
You know what? If you'd like to make some more money, just after this
Mom,
is done, we'll
shut
talk.
the fuck up about Tupperware or Lululemon or whatever the fuck you're selling.
Capitalism never sleeps. I
Hey.
tried to tell you that.
Hey,
Right
if you
there.
don't hustle, you don't make the money. All right. And who do you think puts all those clothes and all those edibles in your pocket? You don't think I know what you're doing? I know exactly what you're doing.
Cock of the shotgun.
All right. More important
Please.
things. Kill first. You're grounded later.
You can't ground me.
There's a
Not
rush.
you.
There's a rush of
Go back to
water from
college.
down the hallway. It sounds like an ocean is starting to fill up the hallway.
What is
God damn it! I
What?
told him not to bring the sharks in.
Ooh, Jack
Sharks?
Cousteau?
Wait, sharks?
Yeah, Len thought it would be a nice attraction if we had a sea life exhibit.
As in, we see it like
How much water is coming in?
It looks like actually it's only filling up
Where's
the hallway.
my
It is
husband?
not flooding through the open hallway into this room. So I think that's an insight roll
Yeah, no, for sure.
for all three of you. Not for Joe, because Joe's already dealing with shit.
My insight's 3 now.
Okay.
So is mine.
Oh, yeah.
Did you get a 6?
Yes, I did.
Heather got a 6.
I have the first 6.
All right. So Susan, your insight goes up by 1, and you're going to have a chance to lose some more as you realize, like, you look up and you see staring at you through the water that is slowly rising is a giant orca.
What?
And it's looking at you.
Oh.
And it opens.
that only worked in
it
movies.
opens its maw, and that's the only way you can really describe it. It is a maw because it's way deeper and darker than a whale's throat has any right to be. And you swear you're looking into the abyss of your marriage.
I knew when I signed on the dotted line there would be the sacrifice.
Mom, do you speak whale? I think you do.
So you're going to make another roll here as you're staring into this abyss.
I'm disowning you.
You'd have to own her first. So make me that insight roll, please. I think we have another 6. So what is your insight at now?
It was a 2. I'm guessing it's going to 3.
Yes. All right. So as you look into
I'm catching up.
As you look into the abyss and you are flooded with all of the horror that is you and your husband and everything else, you realize the time has come. You must answer the question that you were asked on your wedding day when you made this choice. What was that question, Susan?
Is his mother's inheritance of $500,000 really worth putting myself through dealing with his dick?
And you have waited to answer that question for 20-something years because you don't know how you're going to get your hands on it otherwise. But now it is time, Susan. Meanwhile, children, or rather adults who wish you weren't here. So Dylan and Ashley, your mother is just staring at this killer whale, this orca. And you see your father flailing behind it in the water as the water is slowly rising, taking over him.
Do it. Eat them both. What are you waiting for? Eat it. You know, sound travels better through water. That's the tragic part.
And
I try to be good to Dylan.
there's another rack of the shotgun, and blast goes off, and it goes through the water to this whale, and the whale just eats the round and does not seem bothered by this. Joe,
Yep.
You're about to get bitten by a shark as this hammerhead shark comes swimming up behind you, and you feel one of its eyes on you. You don't know where the other one's looking.
No.
One of its black eyes,
Mhm.
lifeless, dead eyes, like a doll's eyes. Yeah, those ones.
Could be. Yeah. And you know, this shark reminds you very much of Susan.
You know, they say a shark is only alive so it can kill and eat. That's an awful lot like my wife.
And now you must answer the question, Joe, that you were asked by something on your wedding day. And what was that question?
Buddy, I know you're lonely, but is it worth it?
And you've waited so long, what is the answer? And you feel a nudge, and the shark barrels into your back and pushes you out of the water, and you find yourself landing in the Arizona desert with the hot sun above you and vultures circling in the sky. Insight roll, please. There's no shark.
Another 5.
Okay. So you are still at 5,
Mm-hmm.
but you are in the desert. It is burning hot. It feels like you're on fire.
Is the gas station anywhere nearby?
No.
Well, that's ominous.
There is a bleached shark skull there.
Well, that's neat.
Yes.
That's
very
funny
neat.
because there must be mostly cartilage.
Uh-huh.
Mm.
But it looks like a skull.
Oh.
That's very weird.
An odd thing a naturalist would say, but I'm just a simple mechanic in the bottle cap factory.
All right. So back inside the gas station, Ashley and Dylan.
I'm looking for something is there windows, like front windows on the museum, or
Nope, connects to the gas station.
is there any windows anywhere leading to
Maybe.
the outdoors? All right, well, I'm going to look for some. I'm taking one of those plastic
Mhm.
animal holder things, whatever, with me, and
Excelsior the squirrel is going to stab at your ankle as you move towards the staff room.
That fucking squirrel's
I
back.
take one of the plastic things. Oh my God.
Stab.
Yeah, but I take one of the plastic things and try to like golf hit him. Like,
Do I need to remind you of rule number 1?
don't engage?
Don't fight the mythos.
Oh well,
Do it anyway.
I'm a teenager. What
Okay.
do you expect?
All right, so you go to slam this piece of plastic into Excelsior the squirrel.
No, I want to golf swing that sucker.
You want to golf swing him, so you
Yeah.
swing it at him and you connect, and he goes flying into a wall, making this horrific chittering sound. But as he does, Dustin the snake on the skateboard comes rolling up to you and wraps around your ankle, and you feel a very sharp sting as it bites your ankle. And then in the last indignity, as you collapse to the ground, that skateboard rolls over your foot.
And I call it, Dylan, you're an asshole.
Wonderful last words. Meanwhile, the squirrel hits the wall and resumes chittering as it stares at you, Dylan.
Oh, okay. I fish into my pocket and I gather my trusty lighter.
Hell yeah. All
Uh,
right.
I make for a wall nearby with many and many a taxidermied thing, which of course will be flammable.
So flammable. So Dylan is going to begin lighting things on fire. Susan, this whale has opened its maw into your horrific empty marriage. What is your answer to this question?
Damn you, Joe.
It was not worth it.
No.
And
No,
so
why did I do that?
you feel the water rushing out of this hallway to engulf you, and it swirls around you, and you find yourself in a piece of the desert with Joe. And what looks like a shark skull, which should not be a skull, it should be cartilage, but it is a skull. Not that you really want to think about that because you are now dumped in the desert. It is hot. There is sun beating down on you. You do not have cell phone reception at all, not even the half a bar you had in the museum. Make an insight roll for me.
But I don't have to deal with my kids anymore.
No, but but you still have Joe.
God damn it.
And see, this is the true horror as you realize you are stuck
You
in the
are fired.
you're stuck in the desert with Joe.
No!
I would like to point out Joe's reaction is also to scream. He's kind of come to terms with dying of dehydration. Maybe he'll get to wear that weird shark skull as a hat. But
Before I use whatever jawbone I can find to take your ass out, it's your fault.
We will leave these two Mad Maxing it out in the desert as Dylan is setting the building on fire.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's pretty clear that the if you're going to burn capitalism to the ground, sometimes it has to start with you.
That's true.
And so
So you set the building on fire, and the young woman with the shotgun looks at you and goes, "Okay, well, here we go again." And the whole building catches ablaze, and Excelsior the squirrel starts chittering and yelling, and Dustin the snake on his skateboard is rolling back trying to get away from the fire, but everything goes up in a conflagration. And then the smoke and the haze fill in, you're coughing, you're choking, you're spluttering, and then everything goes away.
Mm.
And Dylan, you, and only you, are standing outside this gas station with the museum in the back. Len is filling your tank with gas. There is no sign of the rest of your family. There's just a slight hint of smell of smoke and barbecue on your clothes. And,
you gotta do
well,
shirt laundry.
you just hear a chittering sound and then the little voice saying, "Excelsior." And that is where we will end this game.
Fantastic.
Good job, Rina.
So thank you so much for joining us on this episode of random Cthulhu Dark episode. The Always Podcast. We appreciate your time and